Adam here from the Walser Automotive Group, but what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I've got a 2024 Toyota Sequoia. So we'll look at some trim options, some interior, exterior stuff, and see if this might just be the perfect third row SUV for you. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the 24 Toyota Sequoia, and now this is the limited trim level with the hybrid engine, and this also has the TRD off-road package as well as a few other things added in. Now I've got my phone with me, as we usually do it seems, and I've got it down here on the wireless charger, and this one also gets the JBL sound system. So the Limited adds the full 14-inch display. It is huge. I don't think the camera does it justice. It's really cool, especially when you've got the CarPlay going on here. It makes it so easy and simple and very safe when you're on the road. But we'll get into that a little bit more, so let's put it in drive. We'll go for a spin around. Now, there is a twin turbo V6, and this is the hybrid version. So this one's gonna get about 438 horsepower and over 580 foot-pounds of torque. So that is a ton of power, and in return, it gets you about 20 mpg combined. So that's not bad considering I'm basically driving around what feels like a small house. But actually on the road, it's not that crazy. I was expecting it to be pretty kind of massive when you're going down the road, but with the backup camera, all the easy stuff, the mirrors are really large on here, and there's not really any huge blind spots anywhere. So it's not too bad once I've been cruising around this afternoon. So let's start with the exterior. Like I said, this is the Limited with the TRD off-road package. So the off-road will add the 20-inch wheels. This one also gets those Falken Wild Peak tires. So if you are doing a little bit of off-roading, this also adds a kind of a different tuned suspension with the Bilstein dampers, and it's got some underbody skid plates to help you out if you do find yourself on the trail. Now this one is in the Lunar Rock color, which I have to say is probably one of my favorite colors. With the black wheels and the black badging on the car, it does look really cool. Now from there on the outside, this one also gets the kind of side steps. So if you got the kiddos, it makes it maybe a little easier to hop into the back. And this one's also gonna have a foot activated power lift gate out back. So you just swing your foot underneath, it's gonna open that lift gate for you. So if you got your hands full, whether you got camping stuff or groceries, that is a pretty cool feature as well. And another thing I love is that you can just pop the glass on the hatch. So if you don't wanna open the full lift gate, you can push the little button, pop that open, and that's really cool as well. Now, once you've got the back open, there's about 400 different ways it seems that you can configure the second row, the third row, and in the Limited, they are gonna be power as well. So you can click two little buttons on the side. You just click them once, that's gonna fold that third row pretty much down completely flat. Click them again, it's gonna come back up, and you can also slide that third row, even with one hand. You just pull the handle, it's really easy to move them forward and back. So if you need more legroom or more storage space, there's definitely some good options there. There's also a little kind of parcel tray in the back that you can move to 3 different levels. So if you want to put a few bags back there or something else, it does make it pretty convenient when the seats are all the way back. Now let's talk about that second and third row. The third row is going to have USB-C charging back there, there's cup holders, and there is quite a bit of space. Like I said, this is a pretty big vehicle, so it's not like one of the smaller Toyotas or Hondas or Nissans where the third row is pretty much just for little kids. This, you can actually put adults back there, and you wouldn't be so cramped for space. Now in the second row, there's also a climate control back there. You're gonna have a couple of USB charging options as well as a household outlet, which does make it great for those road trips or keeping the kids occupied when they're in the back. Now that second row, to access the third row, you can simply just pull the handle on the side, and again, with one hand, it'll flip down, and then it actually flips the seat forward. So it's like a huge loading area back there as well. It does make it very convenient if you're not hauling people to bring some stuff along with you, or you can just flip those seats to make accessing the third row really simple. Now, what about the driver's seat? It is awesome. I love these seats. So this is actually the StarTex material. So it's not a real leather, it's kind of a mock leather, but it wears really nicely. It's super easy to clean. If the kiddos maybe spill something in the back, you can just wipe it off and it's not gonna leave stains in here. And I love the pattern that's in here. It does make it really cool, matches very well with kind of the off-road theme. Now this seat is also going to be ventilated, so I've got the air-conditioned seat going today because it's already pretty hot this morning, but then when the winter rolls around, these are also heated seats, and this is a heated steering wheel. So I love that feature. It's one of my favorite ones in any new vehicle. When your hands are nice and toasty when you're on the go, it definitely makes a difference and absolutely something you're going to want to have. Now, beyond that, on the steering wheel here, you've got a ton of different buttons. So there's things like voice control, you've got your menu for your full digital gauge cluster up here as well that you can control with your left hand. So that's going to show you things like your trip computer, your navigation stuff, your music you got going, and some of the trailering features. So this one also does have an upgraded trailering package as well. So that would give you the button down here for kind of helping you back the trailer up, or the different multi-view look for the trailer stuff. So that is pretty sweet, and it's also going to be in the digital gauge cluster. Then there's where you can control some of your safety stuff. So if you don't want some of that stuff on, you simply just go to that menu, click once, and it'll turn it off. Things like the parking sensors, blind spot monitoring, there's your RCTA, there's a ton of safety in this vehicle. I always suggest leaving it on because obviously if it's you and the family, you're gonna wanna make sure you're safe when you're on the go. But if you don't want it, or maybe something's beeping at you, if you're doing something easy, you just click the button and turn it off. Now, another thing this one has is the adaptive cruise control. So that's 3, 2, 1 car length distances ahead of you. Like I said, maybe you're running to the cabin, doing a lot of highway driving. That can definitely take a load off and make it very comfortable and easy to eat up a ton of highway miles. Now, like I said, the 14-inch display, I paired my phone up. Takes about 30 seconds to pair a phone in there. You've got Google Maps, Spotify, all of your text messaging is through there, and it's really easy to use and safe. I think Toyota kind of figured that a lot of people would be using Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, so the regular screen doesn't really even have that much information in there. It's just pretty straightforward. You can use the navigation when it's paired in, but I mean, for the most part, I think everybody's going to be pretty much using the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and then your phone just right there on the wireless charger is very simple. Now, the backup camera in here is wild. There's about 30 different views you can go through. So now that I'm in drive, there's a little button I can click right here, and that's gonna pull up the camera. Then you can hear I can go through, look at the side, behind, in front. There's an automatic mode. There's the off-road one, which splits it side to side. There's so many cool ways to configure the camera in here. Then you just click the button again, and then you're back to your Apple CarPlay. So that definitely does help you out if the kids left something in the driveway or you can't quite see in a tight parking spot. Just the ability to not be in reverse and click that button is pretty awesome. Then this one also does get the electronically locking rear differential. So you can click that button up here. Like I said, if you're doing any off-roading, this also gets the MTS, which is the multi-terrain select. So you can click that. You can go through about 5 different modes that'll show you up on the digital cluster here. And it's pretty cool. If you're going out to a campsite, doing some overlanding, I know this is a big truck, but it's very capable off-road. And I mean, with the different drive modes, you have some different sporty drive modes, or just an eco mode, but with the multi-train, all the different crawl control stuff, it is a very capable off-road machine. Now, one other thing I absolutely love in here that really opens it up, especially with the darker interior, is that panoramic sunroof. So that when it's open, it's really cool. I think that definitely makes the back seats even feel more kind of spacious. So that would probably be one of those options I would like to pop for. And this limited with the TRD off-road gives you a ton of equipment. Now for that, let's talk about the price. So the MSRP on this one is gonna be right around $77,000. So this one has about, I think, $5,000 or $6,000 in options. So the regular limited is gonna come in just over 70. You can obviously go down a trim level or two, or you can go up to even get more equipment if you want. So there's a lot of ways to configure the Sequoia. And I think the redesign, this truck looks awesome. I kept parking it and looking back at it thinking, I wouldn't mind seeing that in the driveway every day. It's got a good look to it. The ride and drive is great. The multi-link rear suspension makes it super comfortable and compliant on the road. And you know, it's a big vehicle. It drives like a large SUV, but it's not an uncomfortable, bouncy large SUV. And I hope that kind of makes sense because yes, you still do feel like you could tow the boat to the lake, haul all the kids around, but it's not gonna be, I mean, 90% of the time if it's just you in the car, you're not gonna feel like you're bouncing around or uncomfortable the whole time. And I think that's really what's pretty great about the Toyota Sequoia. So I'd say, if you're thinking maybe you're cross-shopping Honda or Toyota, Nissan, I mean, kind of going between them all, I think you gotta get out, add the Sequoia to your list, take it for a spin, and see what you think. So that was just a quick look and drive at the 24 Sequoia. Now, if you'd like more information or to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by anytime. We'd be more than happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.